Picture this, you're holding your phone. The screen might be from South Korea, the chip from Taiwan, and the final assembly done in China. With just one tap, you're watching a Korean drama, scrolling through TikTok, or listening to your favorite Western artist on Spotify. Without realizing it, you're interacting with the world right from your hands. That, in its simplest form, is globalization. It is more than just a word we read in textbooks. It's alive, it moves, it breathes through the exchange of ideas, goods, technologies, and cultures every single day. But globalization didn't just appear overnight. Its story began centuries ago through exploration, trade, and discovery, and it continues to evolve today. To understand where we are now, we need to look back at where it all began. And to take us there, here's Evangelista who will walk us through the journey of how globalization started and grew into what it is today.
Thank you, Lacanela. Let's take a short trip through time. Long before the internet, long before airplanes. Imagine the Silk Route thousands of years ago. It stretched from China to the Mediterranean, carrying not just silk and spices but also beliefs, ideas, and language. That was one of humanity's first experience of globalizations, a world starting to connect. Centuries later came the age of explorations. European ships sailed to Asia, Africa, and the Americas. Colonies were built, goods like silver, sugar, and coffee moved across oceans, and with them came new language, religions, and unfortunately also slavery and exploitations. Globalization expanded, but not always equally. Then came the Industrial Revolutions, a time of machines, railroads, and factories. Goods were produced faster and traded farther than ever before. In the 20th century, globalization transforms again. This time, through technology, after World War II, the Internet and global institutions like the United Nations and World Trade Organizations made the world more interconnected than ever, from trade routes to digital networks. Globalization has continuously evolved, shaping how we live, learn, and do business. But what has this global wave done to our economies? To answer that, here's Husiko.
Thank you, Evangelista. Let's take a look at globalization through the lens of our wallets, our jobs, and our economy. Imagine the phone in your hand. The screen is from South Korea, and the chip might be from Taiwan. And it was assembled in China. That single device connects you to the music, goods, and ideas from all over the world. That, in its simplest form, is globalization. On the positive side, globalization fuels economic growth, it opens markets, exploiters reach customers they could never reach before, and consumers get access to the cheaper goods and broader choice. Foreign direct investments brings factories, technology, and high paid jobs. Think of BPO centers in the Philippines. The job they created for thousands of Filipinos. Remittance from overseas workers have become a lifetime for many families here, rising living standards in founding education in a small business. But the story isn't only sunshine. Globalization can widen inequality. When industries relocate to countries with lower wages, local workers can lose jobs or face downward pressure on wages. Small local business can struggle to compete with multinational corporations. There's also a risk of economic dependency if a country relies too heavy on a single export or on remittance. It becomes vulnerable to outside stock shocks. Environmental and social costs matter too. Fast production and shipping increase resource use and pollution. Cultural and economic homogenization can erode local industries and traditions that took generations to build. So what we can do about it? First, policy matters. Governments should invest in education and reskilling so workers can move into higher value roles. Strong social facility nets helps communities weather transitions. Second, diversity. The economy supports SMEs, and local entrepreneurs so growth is more inclusive. Third, demand. Responsibilities business push for labor and environmental standards that prevent a race to the bottom. Globalization is not destiny, it's a set of choices that it can improve lives if we manage it wisely and fairly. And while it shapes our economy, globalization also influences how we live and who we are. Munton will tell us more about that.
Thank you, Hoseko. Now let's talk about something closer to our hearts, culture. Have you ever watched a K-drama while eating American fast food or wearing clothes made in another country? That's globalization in your everyday life. Culturally, globalization lets us experience different traditions. For example, the Philippines now enjoys K-pop and Japanese anime, while other countries enjoy our Filipino food and hospitality. This shows how globalization helps us share and appreciate other cultures easily. It also helps spread awareness and creativity. We learn from each other faster than before. But there's also a downside. Some local traditions are being forgotten because people prefer foreign trends. For instance, many young Filipinos speak more English than their own local language, or they choose Western fashion instead of wearing traditional clothes. That's called cultural homogenization, when different cultures starts to look and act the same. Socially, globalization has connected people worldwide. We can study, work, or talk with anyone from another country in just seconds. It teaches us tolerance and open-mindedness, but it also challenges us to preserve who we are. Because in this global village, our differences are not weaknesses. They are what make the world vibrant and diverse. And that connection extends to even how we learn. To explore how globalization reshapes education in the Philippines, let's hear from Longgaki.
Thank you, Munton. When we hear about the word globalization, it sounds big, maybe even intimidating. But when we look at our classroom, we see what it truly means. Because of globalization, education has become borderless. We can now learn from online courses, YouTube tutorials, and virtual classes with the people across the world. We can now connect with the teachers from other countries, access research intensely, and gain new perspective every day. But this progress also shows inequality. Not everyone has internet access and the right tools. Some schools lack of technology, leaving many students behind. Globalization in education is powerful, but only if we make it exclusive. It should inspire us to innovate while keeping our Filipino identity strong, because learning should connect us to the world, not disconnect us from who we are. And speaking of connection, let's end our journey with Lumutos, who will remind us how we can take part in shaping globalization ourselves.
Thank you, Lunggaki. From the phone in your hand to the story we shared, globalization is not just something happening around us, it happened through us. We travel from the Silk Road to the digital age, from economic growth to cultural blending, from classroom to communities, and we've seen both sides, the opportunities and the challenges. So, can we do about it? First, be a cautious consumer. Every purchase you can make tell a story, support local product, farmer, and creator. They strengthen our economy and preserve our identity. Second, be a critical creator. Don't just follow trends, shape them. Use what globalization offers to innovate, to educate, and to solve real problems here at home. And third, be a proud ambassador. Share who we are with the world, our values, our kindness, and our creativity. The world does not need anyone to be the same. It needs all of us to be proudly different. Globalization is not about losing ourselves in the crowd. It's about finding our place in the bigger picture. Together, we are not just the participant in globalization, we are its storytellers and makers in its future.